Well, good morning, wonderful summer students, and welcome to week number 7. 7 out of 10. So that means that we are almost through. We are 2/3 of the way through. So hang in there. We are going to finish up our second essay this week, second essay out of 3. So we are really rolling along. Hang in there, guys. We are almost done. Let's talk about what we're going to be doing this week so that you know exactly what you need for your analysis essay and everything that you need to move forward to our final essay, which is our critical evaluation. All right, so here is our deal for this week. Your analysis essay is due on Wednesday. So that means that you had Sunday off, right, this past week. You have already created your language draft, so you should have 2 paragraphs there. You have already created and revised your language draft a little bit. Then you have already written your credibility draft. So that means that for the analysis essay, make sure that you are going into week 5, okay? And make sure that you are going through and reviewing all of these areas here, okay? Now, everything in your analysis planner that you did in week 5, every single thing that is in that planner is going to be somewhere in your essay. Now, the only star that I'm going to put next to that is this. You have 3 examples in your evidence section of your planner. You do not need all 3 of those examples in your essay. 1, definitely. 2, if you really want to go for it, but please do not use 3 because it's going to make it really long. I gave you guys an opportunity for 3 examples because then you can kind of see, what the author uses the most of, right? Is there a type of example or a type of evidence that the author uses a lot? You could kind of put that together. So, and then you can also go back and you can choose the best pieces of evidence that are really going to be proving your analysis. All right, now, when you go through the information, remember that your analysis writing overview is right here. We have a full page dedicated to exactly what you need to do, okay? So go through your thing link here and then make sure that you go through the actual directions, okay? So all of the information is right here for you. Every single paragraph, exactly what you need in every paragraph is right here. Use your planner, okay? And then use this area to help you put it together. The other page that I would direct you to is, of course, your thesis statements page, right? We have already learned all about thesis statements in our last essay, and we know how important that thesis statement is. So make sure that you are looking at the information here in your thesis statement page and then following the model pretty much exactly, okay? That's what I'm looking for. Now, let's go back into analysis. What I would do also is I would make sure that I just go through so that I know exactly how I'm talking about each of these concepts. Every single thing on this page is going to be in your essay, okay? So that's kind of the overview to make sure that you have everything in there that you need. Of course, if I go back to the course schedule, I'm going to click on the analysis essay. And again, the directions are right there for you. When you kind of go in here, let's see, there you go. Okay, open it up. Here we go. Okay. You have a video that tells you exactly what to do. You have a sample that shows you exactly what it's going to look like. So make sure that your essay looks just like your sample, okay? Remember, you should have in this essay your APA references page, but the APA references page should contain any information that you found in the credibility section, right? Any research you did, and then the article that you are using. So that's reading number 2. All right, I think that that's pretty much it for your analysis essay. The other pages that I wanted to share with you are the following. These might be helpful. When we go back into week 2, remember, this is when we learned all about summary writing, okay? You learned about types of thesis statements, body paragraphs, introductions, and conclusions. So if you need a refresher on how to write your summary, if you need a refresher on CSET paragraph writing or on introductions and conclusions, all right, all of that information is there in week 2. So just as a reminder, that's where you can find those resources. Now, remember to go back into your summary and response essay. How did you do on your summary? Okay. Was your summary enough? Did I give you guys some feedback that said you might need a little bit more? If that's the case, then go back into summary writing and follow the models, follow the directions so that I get a really, really good sense of the article from your summary, okay? If you needed better topic sentences or you needed a better tie-in, go into body paragraphs, introductions and conclusions, the same. The final thing that I'm going to direct you to is, of course, editing and revising. So week 6, you just went through this last week. Remember, before you turn in your essay, right, we've already written 2 parts of this essay plus your references page. So go back in after you've written the whole essay and use your tools. Do you have solid academic word choice? Okay, did you use the words good and bad, or did you use the words excellent and I don't know, ineffective? Okay, what is the word choice that you use, and can you bump it up? Are you using transition words throughout? You know, are you going from your evidence, giving me a for example or an in addition in order to explain your tie-in? Okay, have you looked through and taken a look at your sentence structure? Is it really, really wordy? Is it really, really vague? Do you have the exact same types of sentences over and over again? If so, go back in and revise it. And then finally, go ahead into your outlining. Into your editing. You know, do you have your commas where there are supposed to be commas? Did you use I? If you used I, you got to take it out. If you used you got to take it out. So go into the editing section to make sure then that your essay is grammatically correct, okay? All of these tips that I'm giving you are being given to you because all of these are parts of the rubric. And what do I really, really want from you? I really want for you to get as many points as possible on your essay. And this is the way to do it, is to really make sure that you're going through each part and making sure that your essay is chef's kiss, okay? I gave you off last Sunday, no assignments on Sunday, so you have a full week to complete this assignment, okay? Take it piece by piece. Don't wait for Wednesday to write the whole thing together. Really write each section, go back, use NetTutor, all right, as I showed you in the previous announcements. Use our Writing Center, okay? So you have online tutoring, NetTutor. You have our Writing Center. Remember, all of that is in the announcements, so you can use your resources to help you. If you want a conference with me, go ahead. You know, go ahead and, make a Zoom with me next week, and I will help you through if you have questions, okay? Now, I've spent 8 minutes talking about the analysis essay. Do you think it's important? The answer is yes. All right. Now, let's get into the next half. Once you turn in your analysis essay, we can kind of draw a line under it, but we are going to go back to it because we're using that as part 1 and our jumping off point for the next essay. We're going to talk about that a little bit later next week, but let's take a look at the course schedule and see what you need to complete next. Okay. What you need to do next is you need to actually go into week 7, okay? And what you're going to learn about is information literacy. So what that means is you're going to be learning about how to find articles in our Delaware Tech databases. You're going to learn what makes a good article credible and how to decipher between different kinds of articles. You're going to learn how to use multiple sources in your writing. So, hint, hint, right? For your next essay, you're going to be using reading number 2, but you're also going to be finding a secondary article that is going to help you support your ideas. So what I want you to do is to take a look at your framework, take a look at how to write about multiple sources because you're going to need that as we move forward. All right. Now, The two biggest pages that you really need for this week are information literacy, finding credible resources in SIRS. All right. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes SIRS, when you go through the steps in our page here, sometimes it doesn't pop up. If that happens to you, please reach out to me right away. Let me know if SIRS is not opening for you going through the Delaware Tech Library databases. Let me know and I will send you a way to fix it. Okay. If that doesn't work, then you're going to need to contact IT. So just be aware that sometimes it's a little bit wonky going through our My DTCC webpage. What does that mean? Well, you'll find out when you go through these pages, right? Okay. The other thing that you're going to do then is you're going to be using those pages in order to find a third article. Now, when you go through, you have information here. All right. You're going to go back into critical reading perspectives. You're going to review finding credible sources in SIRS. Then you are going to find an article that is going to support Peter Pischke's ideas or refute Peter Pischke's ideas. Okay. Do you think that Peter Pischke used the right kind of evidence? Are you finding that kind of evidence over and over again in other kinds of articles? Then great. That means that he's right on point and you can use that information to support some ideas. Do you think that he maybe didn't use the right kind of evidence? It wasn't enough, right? Maybe you want to find other kinds of evidence that the author could have used to make his argument stronger. All right. When you go through, I want you to start really thinking about, how did Peter Pischke do with this, right? How did he prove his argument and was it good enough? And then I want you to start looking for articles that are going to either support whether you think he did a great job or say, no, he didn't do a great job and he should have used this instead. Okay, so I want you to go through finding credible sources in SIRS. You're going to find an article that is 3 to 5 pages long, has a different perspective than one we've learned in class, is from the past years, and is from a newspaper or magazine. Now, of course, in this assignment, the comparative worksheet here, you are going to find that you are that you have a video here that takes you directly through how to do this, okay? Now, you are actually going to email me. Your assignment is to email me your article information by Wednesday night. So I'll add this actually to our due date here. But by Wednesday night, I want an actual, correctly formatted email from you that tells me which article you're going to be using. How do you figure out how to do a correctly formatted email? Right here in Start Here, emailing your instructor, click on it. Follow our directions. And then go ahead and make sure that you send me an email in proper email format. Okay, so guys, that's everything this week. You're going to concentrate on your analysis essay. You're going to find another article in SIRS, okay, that's going to support or refute your ideas. You're going to fill out the comparative stakeholder sheet, which will be due on Sunday, okay, and then you are going to move forward into week 8. 2 more weeks to go after that, guys. So just hang in there. We're doing great. If you have questions, let me know. Email me. Make sure you sign your name to your email. Email me. Text me. Set up an appointment with Zoom. I'll be happy to help. Okay. All right. This is already way too long. I'm hoping you're watching this on double speed. And again, reach out if you need anything. Have a great week, everybody, and good luck.